Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, we're going to be diving back into some Cookie Run Kingdom, and I'm going to be bringing you guys my PvP updated tier list for the brand new Cocoa Cookie and Winter update. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen. So for this tier list, guys, this is going to be PvP, and it's absolutely gonna be making a ton of different changes, guys. We've had a ton of different stuff go on ever since Cocoa officially released in the game, literally shaking up the entire meta. Starting us off here, we've got SS all the way down to D tier. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the SS tier as always, and nevertheless, this one does not change a whole lot. We've got obviously Holly Berry, we've got Sea Fairy, we've got Frost Queen, we've got Strawberry Crate because she's still very, very good. We've got Pumpkin Pie Cookie here as well. We've got Parfait because again, that debuff resistance is absolutely unmatched. And last but not least, for our SS tier, we've got the brand new Cotton Cookie as of the latest update before Cocoa Cookie. And again, very, very good. Definitely should be included on your team right now in the PvP arena. Next up, we've got here for S tier, and this one does house a couple additional changes here. That's going to be Pure Vanilla Cookie. We've got Sorbet Shark. We've got Black Raisin. We've got, guess what? A brand new one this season, and that's going to be Rye Cookie. Rye Cookie has officially bumped its way back up the tier list here, officially coming in on S tier for me. That's going to be because Rymon is officially back. Scam comps are literally on the rise. And then next up here we've got, and that's going to be Madeline Cookie as well. We've got Twizzly Gummy still holding strong here in S tier because nevertheless she is very, very good. Another really big change we've got, and that's going to be officially Almond coming out of situational or what used to be support tier, now moving on to actually placed on the tier list. Almond literally in the PvP arena, you can place him on any single team composition right now, how the current meta is, and then he's going to just add a ton of value to your overall team composition. So 100% start using Almond if you don't have Almond on your overall PvP team because he just is going to add a ton of DPS and value and damage and everything else to your overall team. With that being said though, guys, the last and not least we've got, and that's going to be the brand new Cocoa Cookie. That is right. We're going to be placing Cocoa here on S tier for you guys because, again, absolutely shredding in the overall arena, literally tearing apart the current meta that was once here prior to her official release. Everybody's utilizing Cocoa. The resistance to stun that she provides to your entire team for 8 seconds is literally game-changing, so 100% deserves to be here on S tier. I don't quite think she makes the SS tier mark for me because there are compositions made out of the S tier units that can obviously shut her down and then pretty much just make her useless, but nevertheless, coming in at S tier for me is the brand new Cocoa Cookie. Already in the next up we've got here, and that's going to be the very new tier that we've got. Instead of labeling it as support, we're going to label it as situational. I think it's better worded here. Shout out to Cello the God, Andy, Z, Jacob, all of you guys for giving me tips on pretty much just making this tier, changing up a little bit to situational instead of support. Basically what we've got here are these cookies are going to be great in a specific composition, but outside of that composition, they're just not really going to be, valued in the overall arena. Things like Lily here, very, very good for a stun comp or a scam comp that is still very usable in the overall arena. However, though, outside of that, they don't really add a whole lot of value. They're just a simple DPS unit, and you'd be better off utilizing somebody like Sorbet or Black Raisin or even now, Rye. With that being said, same thing goes for Lilac and also Mint Choco. Both of these guys are very, very good for a speed meta comp, but outside of the speed meta comp, they just don't hold a lot of value and typically are not even used in the overall arena outside of that speed meta comp. Again, with that being said, guys, we got two brand new units officially jumping in here to situational, and that's going to be Snow Sugar and then also Kumiho. Both of these very, very good in what they provide once again for a specific composition. If you're not utilizing that comp, well then naturally you're probably not going to be utilizing these cookies. Kumiho is going to be there for that brand new scam comp or cheese comp that's coming up with Almond. Not only that, just adds a little bit of extra value compared to what they used to do with, the obviously debuffs and stuff that she provides of that 20% defense. Not only that, we've got Snow Sugar here once again coming in clutch with like a summoner's comp. So again, we're starting to see her being utilized a little bit more in the overall arena. So they're going to go ahead and bump over to the situational, tier. But once again, keep in mind, the cookies here at situational are purely situational and should not be used outside of those individual comps. Next up we've got here, and that's going to bring us to A tier. This is going to be quite a long list. We've added a ton of different cookies here. Let's go ahead and place them all down, and then I will go ahead and, kind of draw back a couple of additional information on why we've placed them where we have for this individual tier. So starting us off here, we've got obviously Sparkling is a big one for you guys, jumped up from C tier all the way to A. And I know it might surprise some of you guys, but essentially the crit percent buff that Sparkling is providing, not necessarily the heals. We could care less about the healing, especially, when you got somebody like Cotton Cookie and Pure Vanilla, but nevertheless, Sparkling is actually very, very good for that crit buff that is being applied to your team. And that's going to be the reason why we're starting to see Sparkling climb up the ladder a little bit more. We've got obviously Squid Ink here also moving up to A tier. Once again, AoE being provided. Once again, with Almond being provided a ton in the arena right now with the way that the meta is pretty much just in shambles. That's going to be bringing Squid Ink up the ladder because paired with Almond, Squid Ink does a ton of additional damage. Next up we've got, and that's going to be Licorice, Mango, Latte, Moon Rabbit, and then obviously Raspberry. All of these stay the same, holding their spot here on A tier from last month's tier list. If you haven't checked it out, you can go peep on it. But nevertheless, these are going to be just, moving over here. They still stay in A tier. There's still some compositions that you can run to shake up, whatever, composition you're going up against. Again, very, very good cookies to pick and choose from. Definitely not bottom tier, but they don't quite make the S tier on the situational or SS tier, for me anyways. Next up, we've got another big shift, or I guess a couple big shifts. That's going to be Dark Choco. Dark Choco, once again, providing that defense break alongside Frost Queen and Sea Fairy is absolutely a reckon to be dealing with, man. Really, really good cookie here. Like I said, are providing that defense break very similar to Kumiho. We're starting to see, once again, DCs starting to make an appearance in the overall arena, especially at the lower tiers where people have already invested in a DC for PvE content or guild boss. They're utilizing that exact same build or level 60 cookie that they have, dropping him into an arena comp and still actually putting in a lot of work and climbing up the tier using him. And then next up here we've got, and that's going to be Pastry Cookie. Nevertheless, Pastry Cookie is going to be dropping from S tier down to A tier. Once again, this has to do with like the speed meta comp not being used a whole lot right now in the current meta. This could change by the end of December if we get another cookie here that comes out that, could make or, break the overall speed meta. But nevertheless, we're starting to see the speed meta kind of slow down a little bit. We're going to be putting Pastry here in A. Same thing goes for Mala Sauce. We're not seeing a whole lot of Twizzly Mala Sauce compositions anymore. Maybe at the lower tiers you might, but at the higher tiers of Arena, you're not really seeing it a whole lot. So Mala Sauce is also going to be dropping down here to A. Definitely not the worst cookie you could run, but definitely not going to be the highest. Next one up we've got, which another big change is going to be the Sonic Cookie. Sonic Cookie is actually being bumped up from B tier from last month to A tier. One of the biggest reasons here is we've actually seen and witnessed, you can ask Solo the God in my Discord if you haven't done so already, but nevertheless, he got his butt handed to him in the arena the other night, utilizing a Sonic composition, which is very interesting because you don't see Sonic being used a whole lot, and a lot of that has to do with a lot of new players diving in the game can't even get their hands on a Sonic. But nevertheless, if you got one, you can obviously feel good about utilizing them. It's an ambush cookie. It's going to add overall damage to your team composition. So at the end of the day, it's not a bad cookie to run. Next up we've got, and that's going to be B tier. Obviously, we've got a couple of cookies here, nothing too crazy, but we do have one shift, and that's actually going to be Pomegranate. Pomegranate was actually going to be placed on the D tier last month because nobody was really utilizing Pomegranate. However, once again, because Coco has officially released in the game, the meta is just pretty much all over the place. It's a giant mess right now. A lot of different team compositions are starting to pop up. The cookies are getting a little bit more flexible with the teams that you can build, and nevertheless, Pomegranate's actually being used a little bit, especially at the low-level cookies. If you have nobody else to use, then Pomegranate's moving up that list. Again, very uniquely, but nevertheless, she deserves some spotlight, so Pomegranate's going to be moved up to B. Moving right along to C, here we've only got 3 cookies for you guys, and that's going to be Werewolf Milk, same as last month, but we've got a brand new one that's moving up from D, and that's going to be Poison Cookie, and this is not really catered to the arena aspect, but more so towards the overall Mayhem, which again is still technically arena, still PvP, but nevertheless, Poison Mushroom, very, very good here, guys. Absolutely gonna be pulling up when it comes to the overall Mayhem as one of the 3 teams that you can run to provide a ton of AoE damage. Don't be sleeping on Poison Mushroom. You should be building one anyway for the guild boss battles, so if you got one, don't feel bad about incorporating it into a Mayhem video. I've got a video coming out for you guys very, very soon, checking out this overall composition for Mayhem. Next up we've got here, and that's going to be final, and that's going to be our D tier list. Again, just 4 cookies that you should just steer clear from using. If you got them, you're at the beginning of the game, maybe you're level 5 or whatever, then obviously utilize them. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be investing in these cookies whatsoever for PvP or PvE. It doesn't matter. They're the bottom of the list, the bottom of the barrel. At the end of the day, you should be investing in better cookies higher up on the tiers. And that's going to be it for me, ladies and gentlemen. As always, guys, let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are on this overall tier list. Again, keep in mind, this is going to be purely subjective. At the end of the day, you might not agree with everything on this list, and that's okay. But like I said, guys, I worked with other players in the top ranks of the overall arena to bring this list to you guys. We made some crazy changes this time around, so I'm really excited to see what your guys' thoughts are. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know exactly when we drop a video and when we go live here on the channel. Don't forget to join the Discord. We got a link provided down below in the description. And as always, guys, I will see you on the next one.